Okay. So Plato, Aristotle, we have done. We have completed with that, right? What else is left? Okay, with the start you were in fact geographical thought. Okay, classical period and integration we have done, right? Okay. See, Arab geographers which are there after this, आपको उसमें किसके बात करनी है? सिर्फ दो, ज्यादा पूछा नहीं जाता है, to be honest. Only even if you want to talk about it or you want to write about it, you can only write about El-Biruni. That's it. Arab geographer last पूछा गया था 1998 में. So I don't find any relevance here for 2013. So there is no relevance of this doing it in the class. So better we should invest the time in something which is more important. So after this comes Strabo. Do you have the notes of Strabo too? Okay. Hello. Good evening. Okay. So two philosopher, one philosopher we have taken. Okay, settle down, no problem. Exams थे ना, हो गए finally? चल रहे. Okay. How was it? Same overlap था जो आप कह रहे थे? Okay. आपका इकोनॉमिक ज्योग्राफी आप कह रहे हो ना कि इट विल कम. ओके. टाइम पीरियड देखिए स्ट्रैबो का. जस्ट लुक इनटू द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ स्ट्रैबो. एक हमने किया प्लेटो और एरिस्टोटल, व्हिच इज योर ग्रीक फिलोसोफर, एंड नेक्स्ट वी डिड व्हाट? रोमन फिलोसोफर. Roman philosopher, I mean, we have to do. Now tell me, what is the time period of Strabo? Check the time period of Plato and Aristotle. Right. And what about Strabo? What is the time period of Strabo? Strabo का time period देखिए. Quickly. ऐसी चीजें ज्यादा याद रहती हैं, अदरवाइज सब कुछ हौच पौच कर देंगे, मिक्स कर देंगे. फर्स्ट सेंचुरी बीसी, मतलब आसपास का ही है, राइट? ही वाज व्हाट? ही वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम व्हिच एरिया? हाँ. एंड व्हाट एल्स, व्हाट मेजर कंट्रीब्यूशन ही हैज गिवन? ही इज अ फादर ऑफ, correct, and he's a father of regional geography. In fact, he was the first one who talked about the regional geography, right? अच्छा, अभी हमने होमर वगैरह भी नहीं किया ना, आई गेस वो भी नहीं किया ना. ऑल राइट, ठीक है, पहले स्टेबो कर लेते हैं, देन वी विल डू दैट. ओके, राइट डाउन अबाउट स्टेबो की कंट्रीब्यूशन, रेगुलर एंड डिस्क्रिप्टिव व्यू. Strabo's key contribution, regular and descriptive view. Write down. Strabo was known as the father of regional geography. Strabo was known as father of regional geography. Strabo was known as father of regional geography, focused on descriptive approach. that blended geography with history and politics. Now tell me, was Strabo a Roman? Are you sure? He was a Roman, correct? So he first talked about what? Regional geography. He stressed on regional geography. I told you that what is the regional geography? In fact, he was the father of the regional geography, wherein he's studying the particular area. He's talking about that what all, why the landforms are like this, and if landform is there, how it influences the culture, language, behavior of the people. So Strabo, often regarded as father of geography, focused on descriptive approach that blended geography with history and politics. Romans produced very little of their own. Roman produced very little of their own in the field of geography. अगर आप ज़्यादा contribution देखी तो Greeks का ही रहा है. More contribution has been there of Greeks only. Romans का contribution बहुत ही कम रहा है as compared to Greeks. But Romans ने क्या किया है? They have taken the written accounts of Greeks. The written accounts which were left, they have taken the help of that and they included included their own point into it. Okay? So this is what they have done. Write down. Roman produced very little of their own in the field of geography. Full stop. A very large part of what? A very large part of what? Scholars think they know about ancient geography came from Strabo. I'm making you write, otherwise I have written. ये सब कुछ जो भी आपको दिख रहा है notes, everyone, ये सारा culmination है. It's a kind of the amalgamation of the best notes which I can bring from lot of sources, and I have given it in one page. ठीक है? Now why I'm making you write? Important है क्यों? Because लिख के practice होते. Piyush, you also practice this. I have given this only why? So that you should have a written note of it. लेकिन लिखने से क्या होता है? You recall it. Write down. Geographica. Strabo wrote 17-volume work named Geographia. Strabo wrote a 17-volume work named Geographia, which was largely an encyclopedic description. Of the world known to Greeks. इससे क्या पता चल रहा है आपको? क्या Strabo was the one who did his own research? Very less, very minimal. He was the one who is just taking the help of the Greeks only. That's why he has produced a very 17-volume work and given encyclopedic information in the form of its own writing, and wherein he has given maximum information was collected by the Greeks only, right? Next, Geographia also included attempts to explain. Geographia also included the attempts to explain cultural distinctiveness. To explain cultural distinctiveness. To explain cultural distinctiveness, comma, types of government, and customs in particular places. Write down. Regional approach. First, what was his main description that he approached what? He has given a regional approach to the subject. Write down. He favored a regional approach dealing with people. Culture, resources. He favored a regional approach detailing the people, culture, resources, and geography of area. and geography of area like Europe, Asia and Africa, Now write down next. So what is the meaning of this? Let's talk about this. So do you think that all the places that people were living in were the same? No, they have the culture distinctiveness, and he tried to cover that up. इससे पहले किसी भी philosopher ने cover नहीं किया था. Greek philosopher was talking about description. एक जगह है, यहाँ पे landform से उनके बारे में बात कर लिया, लोगों के बारे में बात कर लिया, that's it. But he was the one who integrated it, and he said there's something which we should talk about is a regional geography. So geography के बारे में of which continents? European continents, Europe, Asia and Africa. Yes, he introduced the humanistic. In fact, he integrated it. Okay. Next, purposeful geography. Purposeful geography. He argued that geography was essential for rulers. He argued that geography was essential for rulers and military leaders to understand the world's resources. He argued that geography was needed for the rulers and military leaders to understand the world resources and political structure. अभी देखिए क्वेश्चन कैसे आ सकता है. जो आपके प्रीवियस पैटर्न है, क्वेश्चन अभी ऐसे नहीं आ रहे. क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं एनालिटिकल. एनालिटिकल से क्या मतलब है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई आस्क अ क्वेश्चन, हाउ Strabo's philosophy of Strabo's approach can be applied in today's world, wherein we have to go and research for different rare earth minerals. For example, we can ask that how his regional approach, for example, if I say how his purposeful geography approach is helpful in determining the different world resources. So these are called the applied question. इनको क्या बोलेंगे हम? Applied. अब आपको सीधा ये नहीं पूछ रहे कि Strabo ने ये पूछा. उनको पता है, you know already कि Strabo ने क्या किया है. Now they want to go a step ahead, right? What they want कि आपको Strabo के बारे में पता हो, आपको ये पता है कि कैसे इन दोनों चीजों को इंटीग्रेट करके आपको आंसर लिखना है. ठीक है, तो आप इसके लिए भी प्रिपेयर्ड लेना. आई एम टेलिंग यू व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस थिंग, बिकॉज पिछली बार ऐसे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस थे. दे ऑलरेडी नो दैट यू नो द पॉइंट Strabo ने क्या किया. बट व्हाट नेक्स्ट? आपको कंटेम्प्रेरी इश्यूज के साथ उसको क्लब करना है. नेक्स्ट इज राइट डाउन natural boundaries. He championed the use of natural boundaries over political ones. He championed the use of natural boundaries over political ones. He championed the use of natural boundaries over political ones. For defining regions. Okay. Rest of you can read from the notes. Okay, ये सिर्फ examples हैं. Please read from the notes. I think you are not having notes right now. आपके पास नहीं है. ठीक है. अब फिर online students को भी. Okay, I'll just read it out for you. For the online students, I'm reading it out. The importance, for example, क्या किया Strabo ने? You can write down in your own language. I'll just explain. Strabo ने Danube, जो आज जब Danube की बात करें, with what respect we talk of these river Danube, it is situated in Ukraine. ठीक है, कहाँ से आती है? It originates from Germany, Black Forest. It's not an original river of Ukraine only. It originates from Germany, Black Forest, and वहीं से इसका नाम रखा गया है. The pastries, Black Forest, they are very popular over there, and from there only it's been originating, and then it's draining into which river? Which sea? Black Sea, correct. Okay, so these are the Danube river, and he already talked about all these rivers. He talked about it. It's one of the largest river which was perceived by Herodotus, and he gave the good explanation of floods of Nile also. in Egypt. Then Strabo concluded the need for sound mathematical base for geographers because it would provide them accurate and reliable description of the parts. Right. So you can write the example of the Danube River. लिखिए. Write down in different language. लिखिए. He has given the example में लिखेंगे. He has given the importance of the Danube as one of the largest river. As one of the largest river, and along with it, he has given the correct explanation. And along with it, he has given the correct explanation of the floods of Nile. Of the floods of Nile. Along with it, he also emphasized on deltaic region formed by Nile River in the northern Africa. In the northern Africa. Okay. Next point, he also concluded the need for sound mathematical base. He also concluded the need for sound mathematical base for geographers, as it would provide them accurate and reliable description of the parts of inhabitable world. Okay. Okay, very important. Next Roman geographer is, who is the next one? It is, yes, Ptolemy's. So write down his key contribution. Write down. Write down key contribution. लिखिए. His full name was Claudius Ptolemy. He provided the mathematical tool to make cartography more scientific. So he has given the concept of what? Cartography. Right? He provided the mathematical tool to make cartography more scientific, setting the stage for future exploration. एक प्रॉब्लम है that हर किसी का नेम ज्योग्राफी या पेरियोडियस सेम से नाम है. So that is something is very confusing, right? तो वो चीज आपको थोड़ा सा देखना पड़ेगा कि सबका नाम सिमिलर ही है मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. किसी का पेरियोडिस ऐड कर दिया, किसी का ज्योग्राफी का है, बस सारे नेम सिमिलर ही है. So he has given an 8-volume work which was a definite guide to map making. So basically what he used to do in his book Geographia, he has again given that how to make maps. So it was a guide how to make maps. It was that kind of a book where it's the information of that is written. His 8-volume work was definitive guide to. His 8-volume work was definitive guide to map making. It was a definitive guide to map making. Now write down map projection. He introduced techniques. मैप प्रोजेक्शन में लिखेंगे कि इंट्रोड्यूस टेक्निक्स फॉर प्रोजेक्टिंग अ 3D spherical earth. He introduced techniques for write down projecting a 3D spherical earth onto 2D map. Quickly write down next, which is Almagest. Almagest is another work that he has done, which is a foundational astronomical work. Almagest is a foundational astronomical work. Almagest is a foundational astronomical work on planetary motion. On planetary motion. ठीक है, तो स्टैबो और क्लॉडियस में क्या डिफरेंस था? स्टैबो वाज मोर ऑफ अ रीजनल, लास्ट पॉइंट है, वाज मोर ऑफ अ रीजनल डिस्क्रिप्टिव ज्योग्राफर, और क्लॉडियस क्या थे? मोर ऑफ अ मैथमेटिकल साइंटिफिक ज्योग्राफर. ठीक है, रोमन में आपको सिर्फ 2 करने हैं, ऑल दो बुक्स में बहुत सारे दिए हुए हैं, प्लीज डू नॉट डू दैट, आपको करना ही नहीं है. ठीक है, डोंट इवन ट्राई दैट, बिकॉज ज्योग्राफिकल थॉट से कितने क्वेश्चन आएंगे? 1 और 2, दैट्स इट. उसमें भी कौन सा आता है यू नेवर नो. सो डू 1 स्टैबो, 1 क्लॉडियस, दैट्स इट. ये रोमन ज्योग्राफर हो गए. 5-6 आपने ग्रीक ज्योग्राफर्स कर लिए, बात खत्म. देन डार्क अरब ज्योग्राफर मैंने एक ही बताया, अगर करना है तो. देन यू विल कम टू व्हाट? डार्क एज. डार्क एज को थोड़ा समझना पड़ेगा बिकॉज इट्स अ लिंक. फिर आपका पीरियड ऑफ वेनेस आएगा, फिर आपका फ्रेंच ज्योग्राफर, अमेरिकन ज्योग्राफर एंड व्हाट एल्स? ब्रिटिश ज्योग्राफर्स. ठीक है, दैट इज हाउ यू हैव टू डू. एंड देन फाइनली आपका आएगा थॉट्स. थॉट्स ऑफ व्हाट? थॉट ऑफ स्कूल, जैसे आपका डिटर्मिनिज्म, एनवायरमेंटल डिटर्मिनिज्म, क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन, ये सब. ठीक है, ऑलराइट, जस्ट रीड इट क्विकली, एक बार पढ़ लीजिए. Hello, I'm in the class now. Hello. आपको तो मैंने किया ना. With online students, I'll get that uploaded, all the notes by tomorrow. Ishan. Shall we move forward? Okay. So now there are some other Greek philosophers also we have to discuss apart from the Homer, Plato, apart from the Plato and Aristotle that we have discussed yesterday. So start discussing about them. Okay, the first we have already done about we have already done with respect to the Plato and Aristotle everything. Now come to the next scholar that we have, I mean, which we have not done, is Homer. Why Homer is important and what it is he is famous for? Write down. Homer is an ancient poet, an ancient Greek poet, in fact. He is an ancient Greek poet. Homer is an ancient Greek poet who is considered pioneer of early geographical thought. Who is considered pioneer of early geographical thought. In fact, very interesting fact about Homer is he was a poet, and he used to even write his all the writings of geography in the poetic form only, poetry only. So that was different about Homer. He used to write things in poetry. So Homer is an ancient Greek and is considered a pioneer of early geographical thought with his epics Iliad, Iliad, Illiad, and Odyssey. With his very popular one, Iliad and Odyssey. Acha, I have not seen. Ah, okay. Christopher Nolan, the one for. Acha, abhi aayegi. Okay, all right. Okay, that one, na Oppenheimer. Okay, okay. He's okay. Then it must be great. He's providing a foundational comma, descriptive knowledge. He provides foundational comma descriptive knowledge of Mediterranean world. इस बुक में इन्होंने किसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया? मेडिटेरेनियन वर्ल्ड का डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया. वहीं पर ही रहते थे ये लोग और वहीं का ही डिस्क्रिप्शन देते थे और किस फॉर्म में दिया? पोएट्री की फॉर्म में दिया. ठीक है. The book is consisted of all this descriptive knowledge of Mediterranean world. Full stop. He described the circular earth. He described the circular earth surrounded by river Oceanus. He described the circular earth. He described the circular earth. Write down. He described the circular earth surrounded by river Oceanus and introduced the early concept of winds, travel, and environmental mapping. Next comes Thales, Anaximander, and Hecatetius. In fact, we had a discussion of all of these earlier too, but still, since we are writing all of these, so you can write down, you can mention Thales, Anaximander, and Hecatetius. Write down. Among all the Greek scholars, Thales was the first one who was concerned about measurement. Among all the Greek scholars, Thales was the first one who was concerned about the measurement on location of the things and location of the things. He was concerned about location of the things. Homer was the first one, Thales was the first one who was concerned about measurement and location of the things on the surface of the earth. Thales was a businessman and was an inventor. Thales was a businessman and was an inventor. And was an inventor with a great variety of innovations. And with a great variety of innovations. Right on. He was a founder of mathematical geography. Next point. He was a founder of mathematical geography. Credited with initiating the study of mathematical tradition in geography. Mathematical tradition in geography. Okay, so Thales was one who tried to came out of the cosmological view, and then he started talking about the places on the earth. He was the one. Cosmological view kya tha? Talking about the universe, where the earth is present, whether the earth is at the center or not, or whether the earth is a celestial body, or where it is present in the universe. So this is called the cosmological view. And when you talk about the measurement of the earth, you're talking about the places on the earth. That means you're talking about this thing. You call this study as chronology. इसको बोलते हैं cosmography, इसको बोलते हैं chronology, right? Because starting की class में I've explained you what was the difference. पहले से यहाँ तक आने में कितना डिफरेंस लगा. पहले हम किसकी बात करते थे, हम ज्योग्राफी क्या समझते थे, जो कॉस्मोलॉजिकल व्यू है वही ज्योग्राफी है, कि कहाँ पे कौन सा सेलेस्टियल बॉडी कहाँ पे प्लेस है, दैट इज इनफ, वही ज्योग्राफी है. फिर हम यूनिवर्स से कहाँ आए, अर्थ के ऊपर आए. हमने कहा कि नहीं, फर्स्ट वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड द प्लेसेस अराउंड अस. उसको हमने क्या, क्रोनोलॉजी, डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द प्लेसेस ऑन द अर्थ. सो दैट इज व्हाट this has changed, this perspective has changed, right? So he moved away from the mythological explanation. He moved away from the mythological explanation towards natural, rational, towards natural, rational, towards natural, rational, and rational explanation for natural phenomena. Natural, rational explanation of natural phenomena. ठीक है, डन. ओके, नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. He created the earliest known Greek world map. He created the earliest known Greek world map. सबसे पहला वर्ल्ड मैप किसने बनाया था? Greek world map. He was the one who made the first Greek world map, depicting the world as circular disc surrounded by ocean river. Describing the world as circular disc surrounded by ocean river. Anaximander ने बस क्या चेंज किया था इसमें? Next we are going to write about Anaximander only. Anaximander ने क्या चेंज किया? Anaximander ने बस एक चीज चेंज करी, इसके अंदर स्केल्स बना दिए. ये अगर ये आपका वर्ल्ड मैप है, वर्ल्ड मैप कैसे दिखता था अगर आप देखेंगे पुराना, इट यूज्ड टू लुक लाइक दिस. यहाँ पे आपने बना दिया, राइट, एंड देन they will draw the scales. Anaximander was the first one to draw the maps on the scale. He was that geographer. ठीक है? So write down. Anaximander was a pre-Socratic Greek scholar. From where he was? He was from Melissus. Melissus is a place in, it's a city in the Greece. और यहाँ से हमारे बहुत सारे क्या निकले हैं? Philosophers निकले हैं. Write down. Melissus, who founded the Western cosmology and geography. He was a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher. In fact, Socrates से भी पहले pre-Socrates Greek philosopher from Melitus बोलिए, who founded Western cosmology and geography. That means ये सारे किससे पहले हैं? These all are. Can you check the timelines of all these? Thales, Anaximander, etc. and see the timeline of Plato and Aristotle. Thales was 7th century. Very good. Thales was 7th century. Anaximander same time के हैं ये सारे. And there was one more. Thales, Anaximander एक साथ, इनके साथ एक और आता है Tacitus. He was also same time. I think he was from 6th century. ठीक है? So you have all these people. And Plato and Aristotle are from थर्ड. तो ये पहले आए हैं, टाइमलाइन पता होना चाहिए, पहले आए हैं, एरिस्टोटल बाद में. तो जब भी आप रिवाइज करें तो ऐसे ही ऑर्डर में रिवाइज करें. जो पहले आए उनको पहले करें, जो बाद. प्लेटो एंड एरिस्टोटल का पूरा आई नीडेड अ फुल डे, सो आई टेकन इट पहले अर्लियर. आई जस्ट वांटेड टू क्लियर इट. ऐसा मतलब ये नहीं कि प्लेटो और एरिस्टोटल पहले आए हैं, इनफैक्ट वो बहुत बाद में आए हैं. ठीक है. एनेक्सिमाइंडर को हम कंसीडर करते हैं एज अ फर्स्ट साइंटिस्ट. वी कंसीडर एनेक्सिमाइंडर एज also as a first scientist. He was considered as a first scientist. And he was a student of whom? Thales. He was a student of Thales, and he rejected mythological explanation. And he rejected the mythological explanation, proposing instead that universe is governed by, and proposing instead that the universe is governed by natural laws and Apeiron. This is the word Apeiron. Apeiron का मतलब होता है unlimited. Made up of Apeiron means unlimited, boundless. इसका मतलब होता है unlimited और boundless. एक बहुत ही weird सी थ्योरी है थेल्स की कि जो भी कुछ बना है वो एपेरॉन से बना है. ठीक है. तो दिस इज व्हाट ही यूज्ड टू से कि जो भी कुछ बना है वो एपेरॉन, बाउंडलेस चीजों से बना है, इनडेफिनिट चीजों से बना है. So that was his viewpoint. The Anaximander taught that starting material of all the things is apeiron, is endless. ठीक है. The starting thing of all the things are apeiron. With what perspective, with what view he wanted to say this? Then he was the one who drew the first map. He was the one who drew the first map on scales. Then he created a very special device. You call it as Gnomon. So you should write it like that. Gnomon. Let me check the spelling. Gnomon, correct. So what was that? It is just similar to the sundial. वो क्या बताता है? how much shadow is coming, etc. So you're just checking what time of the day it is. So he introduced sundial to Greece. And what this sundial used to tell you? Solstices, equinoxes, and times of the day. All of these things were used to determine through this. Now come the last one, which is your Hecatius. Hecatius of Miletus, which is a city in the Greek. He was an early Greek thinker from late 6th century. He was the early Greek thinker from he was an early Greek thinker from Malicious, write down, in 6th to 5th century BCE. He was he was a Greek historian and geographer. He was a Greek historian and geographer. He was a Greek historian and geographer. Next point, he lived during a time when the Greek knowledge of the wider world, he lived during the time when the Greek knowledge of wider world was expanding through travel and trade. So what he wrote? He wrote one of the first known attempts, write down. He wrote one of the first known attempts to describe the world systematically. He wrote one of the first known attempts to describe the world systematically through his work, whose name was Parados Jess. ये अलग अलग वर्ड्स हैं. Periodos Jess. कहीं कहीं Jess Periodos लिखा होता है. ठीक है. Which means journey around the earth. Journey around the earth. It served as a comprehensive guide. It served as a comprehensive guide describing Europe and Asia, along with this detailing people and places. Along with this detailing people and places. Next, he also improved upon Anaximander's map. He also improved upon Anaximander's map, depicting the world as circular disk surrounded by ocean. Okay. Very interesting thing with him happened, that he was a pioneer of rational inquiry. He was a pioneer of rational inquiry. In fact, he used to ask, why is this, why is that? So he was asking everything. So he was someone who began questioning myths. He was someone who began questioning myths. He was someone who began questioning myths. He was someone who began questioning myths and tried to explain the world based on observations and reasons. The last one which is left for the day is Herodotus. But before that, write a question. I'll even give you PYQs only, just wait a minute. Write in the first question, Vicky. Homer led the foundation of descriptive knowledge. Homer led the foundation of descriptive knowledge through epic narratives. Through epic narratives discuss. This is an analytical question. Through epic narratives discuss. Next analytical question is Plato philosophical ideas. Plato philosophical ideas indirectly shaped Geographical thinking. Indirectly shape geographical thinking. Elaborate. Next question. Strabo transformed, ये सारे analytical question है. Strabo transformed geography into practical discipline. Discuss. Strabo transformed geography into practical discipline. Discuss. Okay. Do these three questions. You have to do only one today. क्लास में आपको वन करना है and then rest of that you have to do later on. 2 more minutes. Done? ठीक है? Okay, start करते हैं हेरोडोटस से. Right? Okay, I'll just have a quick look at your answers. Just show me. अच्छा, अब अप्लाइड क्वेश्चन में हमने स्टैबो वाला किया है ना, तो सिंस यू हैव ऑलरेडी मेंशन दिस, तो यहाँ पे लिखो हेंस. अब इंटीग्रेशन कैसे हो रहा है अभी मेंशन कर दो. ये मेंशन करो ना प्रैक्टिकल कैसे चेंज किया. हेंस अब यहाँ पे अपना व्यू पॉइंट लिखो आप कि किस तरह से आपको लग रहा है कि प्रैक्टिकली चेंज कर दिया. इसको एक्सप्लेन करो कि प्रैक्टिकल कैसे, कि अब कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है नेचुरल बाउंड्रीज इन द पॉलिटिकल बाउंड्रीज, हाउ दे आर इम्पोर्टेंट, क्या इसका प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो आज से रिलेटेड, आज कंटेम्प्रेरी इशू से रिलेट करो प्रेजेंट वर्ल्ड से. तो बेटर करो. एग्जाम्पल ऐड करने, वही तो दे आर लुकिंग फॉर दैट. इस क्वेश्चन में वो यही देख रहे होंगे। हाँ, हर पॉइंट पे एग्जाम्पल होना चाहिए कंटेम्प्रेरी इशू का, कि किस तरह से ये रिलेट कर पा रहे हो आप विद प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो। जैसे नेचुरल बाउंड्रीज का यू कैन राइट डाउन स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मोन्स एंड एक्सेट्रा, पॉलिटिकल ज्योग्राफी वगैरह। Okay, now next what? Herodotus. Write down. Herodotus. Okay, write down about him. He was a scholar in 4th century. He was a scholar in 4th century, and he is given a very important thing. We'll discuss about that. In fact, a lot of questions have come from there also. Write down. He's a Greek scholar, and he is also known as the father of history. He's also known as the father of history. But the point with Herodotus was that he said कि आप हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी पढ़े बिना नहीं कर सकते एंड ज्योग्राफी हिस्ट्री पढ़े बिना नहीं कर सकते. So both the things are interrelated, right? So this is what he has said कि आपको अगर हिस्ट्री पढ़नी है so you have to understand the geography of that location. और अगर आपको ज्योग्राफी पढ़नी है you need to know the history of that location. So what he said, a very classical thing he said about the place is that he credited with a very old idea that history must be treated geographically and geography must be treated historically. This is the classic statement which comes for the explanation many times. Write down this as a question. पहले आप question की तरह लिख लो, but I'll explain you definitely. Write down, and you have to do this also. Explain how geography must be treated historically and history must be treated geographically as per Herodotus. As per Herodotus. Write down. This is a question that you have to do. Okay. Write down next. He detailed the causes and events of Persian wars. He detailed the causes and reasons of Persian war. He detailed the causes of and events of Persian war, blending historical narratives, blending historical narratives blending historical narratives with extensive ethnography, geography, and offered cultural description of foreign lands. And offered cultural description of foreign lands. Next point. His great work was, next point. His great work is the history of Greek struggles. His great work is the history of Greek struggles with the barbarians. With the barbarians. His great work is history of Greek struggles with the barbarians. Full stop. But his history includes numerous digressions. But his history includes numerous digressions to describe the places that he had visited, numerous digressions to describe the places that he has visited, and people whose customs he has observed, and people whose customs he has observed and recorded. And recorded. Full stop. And recorded. Right on next. It should be noted that during this time, it should be noted that during this time, there was no separate professions and no one was identified as astronomer, geographer, and historian. Next point. Herodotus provided some excellent examples of what we call today historical geography, that is recreation of past generations, that is recreation of past geographies, and tracing of geographical change through time. And he is also considered as the father of ethnography. Now, how he has explained, let's look into this. Now, what Herodotus has done, so basically he was known for what? He was known as a father of history. Now to explain anything, for example, he wants to explain the Persian War, or any war he wants to explain, then what he used to go? He used to go and explain it through geography. He used to talk about the places, he used to talk about the people over there, and then custom, how these customs were different from the Iranians or the Persians. And then finally he used to conclude the things. So this created what? He never used to explain the historical facts without using geography into it. And that's why he said that history should be explained geographically and geography should be explained historically. Okay? And next, you don't have to write. Herodotus' geographical writings was based on his personal observation during his many years of travel. So why he was like that? Because he traveled a lot. That's what changed in him. So because he traveled, that's why he could see that what was there. आप पुराना तो देख नहीं सकते हो, so for that you have to go into the history. So one main reason of all these geographers were they used to travel, and he knew the Mediterranean shores as far as the southern Italy. So ज़्यादा दूर तक travel नहीं करते थे, सिर्फ इटली चले गए, Mediterranean Sea के आसपास. That's all. Where he resided during the later part of his life. He insisted that Nile Valley has been built by mud brought from Ethiopia. This mud was dark colored. So this explanation also you can give. That he described about the Nile Delta. He described about how the mud color used to look like. So all these information you can give. It gives extra touch. इससे क्या होता है? आपका आंसर बोरिंग नहीं लगता है. ठीक है, इसमें आप एग्जांपल्स भी दे रहे हैं प्लेसेस का. नाइल रिवर के बारे में यू आर राइटिंग अबाउट he is traveling to Mediterranean Sea. All these are important because it gives the life to the answer. It gives that how was his background, how was his journey. Next he talked about, he basically differentiated between the soil of Nile River and the soil of Libya. Libya का soil कैसा लगता था? Red. It used to look like red, muddy, and while the red sand लगता था Libya का, and while Nile का कैसा लगता था? I mean Ethiopia, it used to look like very dark as compared to Libya. He insisted that Egypt was occupied by Egyptians and they are not divided into ancient and Libyans. And this is the earliest description of the regional geography. All right, so this is all about Herodotus. So now you can take further and describe about the different geographers. इसके बाद तो क्या है आपका Aristotle and Plato आते हैं. So yesterday's class that we have done of Aristotle and Plato first, basically they come after all these Greeks. So Greek हमने कर लिया, Romans हमने कर लिया. Next क्या आएगा आपका? I'll give you a very short description about geography during Dark Age. अब ये point क्यों important है? क्योंकि यहाँ से काफी कुछ चीजें चेंज हो जाती है. You know, हाँ, ट्रांजिशन पीरियड. ट्रांजिशन पीरियड को समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसके बीच में एक और पीरियड आता है आपका, इससे पहले यू कॉल इट एज मेडिवल पीरियड. वो आपको खुद करना है, इंपॉर्टेंट ज्यादा नहीं है, अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू. बट एक फिर भी एक फोमो रहता है दैट यू हैव नॉट डन एंड टच दैट टॉपिक व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज अरब ज्योग्राफर्स. एक टॉपिक है दैट यू कैन लुक अराउंड इफ यू वांट टू. ठीक है. सो ज्योग्राफी ड्यूरिंग डार्क एज वाज व्हाट, that at that point of time people stopped asking the questions. They start being rational, they start being logical, they stopped being logical, they stopped being rational, and then they stopped being that. What happened? Who took over? The church took over. Why? Yes, it was high, they were highly influenced by that. Even people used to talk about the science, they used to say don't talk about it, this is not of use, this is nothing of any guide to anyone. So they stopped asking the questions. At that point of time, people were quite curious, especially those people who were scientific in nature, who wanted to do some kind of revolution they wanted to bring. They could not. Why? Because they were stopped from researching. They used to made believe that whatever the church is saying, church is the whole authority. जो church बोल रहा है वही सही है. So that kind of things happened, and then people started, even when people revolted also, the very few of them, then they were subdued in their own way. So this is what happened. And this particular thing is also divided into how many types: early medieval period, and then we will do later on, I mean tomorrow we will do all of these things. I hope that you are having, आपके पास है notes during geography during dark age? ठीक है, you have? Okay, I'll give it to you right now. ठीक है, ये पूरा टॉपिक आप एक बार पढ़ के आएंगे, and for the online students I'll get that uploaded. Right, by tomorrow you will get that. Before the class you will get that uploaded, so you can just have a rough reading of it, तो क्योंकि आपको थोड़ा आइडिया हो जाए कि डार्क एज में था क्या. राइट, इससे क्या होगा, टॉपिक आपका जल्दी कवर होगा और आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी ज्यादा आएगी. तो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू लाइक अ स्टोरी ओनली राइट नाउ. सो दिस ऑल हैपेंड. अच्छा, इसी टाइम पे सिर्फ ज्योग्राफी की बात नहीं है, बाकी साइंस के भी जो फैक्ट्स थे वो क्या हो रहे थे, दे वर नेग्लेक्टेड. दे वर सेइंग साइंस कल्चर पूरा, इनफैक्ट वो क्या हो गया था, इट वाज नेग्लेक्टेड, एंड दे वर सेइंग दैट इज नथिंग लाइक दैट. पीपल वर स्टॉप्ड from questioning. They were saying कि आप क्यों question कर रहे हैं, there is nothing to question about. Why you are questioning, why you are asking for the answers of something that which is problematic to you. So all of this happened. So no scientific accomplishment, that is one. Then there was एडवर्ड गिब्बन में इनफैक्ट इसको बोला है बारबेरिज्म एंड रिलीजन, बिकॉज पूरा किसने इसको ओवरटेक कर लिया था, रिलीजन ने ओवरटेक कर लिया था. एंड ओवरटुक which thing overtook it? Religion overtook it over science culture. And the period was long viewed as a time of widespread decline in all respects. Population decrease, political, social instability was context, cities shrank, trade and wealth was limited. And this was the fall of Rome and rise of Renaissance. Remained dominant until fairly recently. Right? So tradition of even in fact they were different. You call it as middle age, right? Frequently इसको क्या बोलते हैं, डार्क एज बोलते हैं. इन यूरोपियन हिस्ट्री फ्रॉम द कोलैप्स ऑफ रोमन सिविलाइजेशन टू द पीरियड ऑफ रेनेसां. ये पूरा पीरियड है, कोलैप्स ऑफ रोमन सिविलाइजेशन टू पीरियड ऑफ रेनेसां. ठीक है, ऑलराइट, यू कैन टॉक मोर अबाउट इट. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. All right, if you have any doubt, let me know. I'll just share with you the notes. Do you have American geographers का syllabus? I mean the notes. American का नहीं मिला ना? I think I'm not having that. American ही है, British, European, French and German एक ही में है ना? American I have to give tomorrow. हाँ, I have checked it. It's there only, but I have to figure it out where it is. Okay, tomorrow you'll come ना? You might be having a holiday also tomorrow. Are you having? Okay. Tomorrow is a government holiday. I believe so. I don't know. Not here. हाँ, कल का है ना? I guess कल या परसों. नहीं, छुट्टी कब है? This is तो it's operating, like we तो are operating. So okay, so I will give you American and British geographer एक में है, वो आपको शायद नहीं मिला है. Quantitative revolution you got it already, no? Just hold on, I'll tell. I think print out citing चाहिए नहीं तो इसलिए आपको नहीं मिला. Please have a look at it. Anything else? I think हमने section B discuss नहीं किया ना? I was thinking कितनी जल्दी कैसे syllabus complete हो गया? Yes, yes. Human geography discuss ही नहीं किया. ठीक है. We have just started human geography, right? पूरा. अभी यही तो है geography का thought से, ठीक है? So take the classes and उसके साथ साथ ही आपका complete हो जाए. अब बाकी time आप वो करें. ठीक है? कर सकते हो manage? Possible है? Okay. Thank you so much.